guys, I'm Sam Trautwein from the co-founder and CEO of Carbon. So I know you're all here to hear about the future of money, but often the best way to see what's happening in the future is looking at the past. I want to draw your attention to a massively disruptive innovation that just changed the nature of what we call money, and in a way, and had many similar traits to blockchain. It was pseudo-anonymous, arbitrary scalability of the amount of value transferred with instantaneous resolution. What I'm talking about is paper. The first paper bills emerged in the Tang Dynasty in the 7th century AD. And these were what we now call promissory notes. The existing system was built around gold and silver, and these notes were basically pieces of paper that you could redeem with any bank for gold or silver. And asset-backed stablecoins basically play a similar role in terms of bridging the existing and the future financial system. And they play this role because they have definition in both the legacy system and the future system. And what I mean by that is, from a regulator perspective, in the context of the existing financial system, if you look at an asset-backed stablecoin, what it really is a bearer receipt. It's a distinctive entity that you can redeem with a bank for, in most cases, $1. In the crypto space, it's a token that can be transferred and can be used for inside any smart contract, inside any wallet, on any exchange, but that can be taken back to the legacy system and also exchanged for $1. And what makes this unique is that these systems act as bridges, and they connect actors across both sides and allow value to be moved from the legacy to the future financial system, between the past and the future. So we view these bridges as a pretty big deal, because as crypto's grown, there's been more and more pressure placed on the bridges. Many groups that crypto's actually, in terms of the ability to use credit cards in crypto, that's actually gone backwards over the past year. Crypto was labeled as a cash-like asset about 2 months in the future last year, and that basically made it much, much more difficult for anyone to process payments in the crypto space using plastic, because it's viewed as a cash advance now. As other groups have scaled, they've lost relationships that they had with existing financial actors, didn't really pass muster due to the amount of volume they were seeing. And that's something we'll get more into down the road. I want to draw your attention to kind of what these systems actually look like in both worlds, both the crypto world and in the existing financial system. Most stablecoins are essentially on the existing financial system side. Most stablecoins are basically partnerships between banks, law firms, actors with licenses, accounting firms whose main job is to hold money on behalf of the token holders, and do so in a manner that's compliant with existing regulation in the jurisdictions in which the token holders operate. On the crypto side, it's a network of smart contracts, as well as actors that interface with said smart contracts in terms of minting and redeeming tokens for $. And these bridges are important because they're the core infrastructure for more robust payment rails that will extend deeply into both the existing financial ecosystem as well as the crypto space. Because ultimately speaking, what stablecoins are bridges. In the same way that promissory notes bridge gold to paper money, stablecoins bridge the legacy and the future financial system. But bridges alone, the crypto space in general is really good at building bridges, but really bad at building rails. And what I mean by that is a lot of these projects are essentially bridges to nowhere. They're bridges that connect two pieces of land that really don't exist or don't have any meaning. Because bridges without rails are useless. And so here at Carbon, one of the things we're mostly focused on is making sure that we develop effective rails on both sides of the bridge. And what this means in the context of the legacy financial system is working to build redundancy, deep redundancy into all the jurisdictions in which we operate on the regulatory and banking side. And on the crypto side, it means making sure that our partners have the tools they need to fully leverage stablecoins to allow them to interface with everything that's good about the existing banking system. And what I mean by this in a much more kind of literal sense, on the existing side, we're working on making redeemability easy and universal. Currently we're live on both Ethereum and EOS, and you can buy tokens or redeem tokens for money wires. Over the course, we're working aggressively to expand, to widen that pipeline into ACH and plastic. We're also working on expanding which currencies we support to allow broader access to these new assets and to the crypto ecosystem as a whole. On the crypto side, we're touching multiple chains. We're going to keep building tools that allow deeper penetration of stablecoins into existing ecosystems. And we think that this is kind of the direction that the space should go, because bridges without rails are meaningless, and bridges without rails are bridges to nowhere. So we view this as we think building and owning these rails will put us in a position where no matter what happens on the regulatory front, we're providing value today to existing customers and to existing projects. And we're very excited about where this can lead, because we think that stablecoins will ultimately be the killer dApp for the entire sector. In terms of their ability to drive much deeper consumer adoption and penetrate much more deeply into emerging markets and underbanked populations. Stablecoins are familiar to most people because from a user standpoint, they're a back-end technology. There won't be any difference between Venmo powered by stablecoins and Venmo as it exists today. And that's a future that we believe in, that I think everyone can get behind. Because what's also neat with this is that due to how light this technology is, it will be intrinsically global and intrinsically universal, and will be able to service populations and markets that have so far been ignored by the existing financial system. Something that we believe is going to be foundational to driving this forward, which I guess is also a good way to segue into my background, is AI and anti-fraud. Because especially as you expand into markets that haven't yet been touched, especially as you start touching markets where you are the first banking layer, to maintain compliance, it's going to be necessary to keep fraud under control and to lower the exposure of our partners to bad actors. And so we're investing heavily in basically being the front line of banking for both emerging markets as a whole, as well as the crypto space. And that's something that I think will ultimately change the face of value transfer for the world.